Hi, my loves. Today we are asking, what do I need to hear right now? Pick a card reading. The timestamps will be in the description box below. These are the objects you can choose from today. So this is going to be pile 1. This is a golden bird box. This is pile 1. Pile 2 is this necklace. This is a Navajo beaded turtle necklace, or tortoise. I think it's a tortoise. This is a Navajo Native American beaded necklace, leather. And then pile 3, this is a fortune telling pig. I think it might be from Fantasia, but maybe I've imagined that. Anyway, it's a fortune telling pig. Yeah, I don't think it's from Fantasia actually, but it feels kind of Disney, doesn't it? So that's pile 3. So see which object you feel drawn to, or you might hear 1, 2, or 3. Look in the description box below and you can go straight to the reading. I'm going to start all of the readings with Lenormand cards because they're so precise and they can be harsh in a good way. All right, my loves, I'll see you at the reading. Okay, so pile 1. Connecting into pile 1, please, Spirit, creating a temporary energetic cord between myself and anyone who watches this video across all time and space, channeling clear messages through me for their highest good, or chances, changes, possibilities, probabilities, anything we need to know that comes through for this group, please, around what it is they need to hear at this time. Closing down the energies, restoring the auric fields, and wrapping us in universal love, light, and protection at the end of this. Archangel Michael giving me protection throughout. I'm getting something about abundance. So citrine could be a crystal that is good. I also got something about alcoholism. So some kind of addiction or excess could be a factor in your life at this time. It may be even that you're addicted to kind of work at the moment with the abundance and the addiction kind of coming through. It may be that you need to not be constantly working and bypassing how you're feeling through work. You know, you might be being a bit of a workaholic. For some of you as well, there could be something hidden that isn't what it seems. There could be a hollow promise here as well. Obviously it's not a personal reading, so you have to see which bits kind of resonate to you. I'm also getting something about envy. So some of you may be in a position where you're going to be getting some kind of wealth. I actually heard inheriting, but that wouldn't be that I'm telling you someone's going to die. It could just be, I don't do readings like that, but it could just be that, you know, there is some inherited wealth you already have, or someone has an inheritance, or I don't know. It could even be just generational patterns inherited from family around money. So like, you know, the beliefs you've inherited, things like that. But there could be some jealousy or envy from others around you if you do get like a promotion or something like that. Let's see though. Sorry, it's so sunny. I mean, it's nice that it's sunny though. It's been so grey. But let's see. What is it that pile 1 most needs to hear? The sun. This is about illumination and things coming to light. It is also about manifestation and optimism. It's a bit like the Sun card in tarot, but let's look in the book because Lenormand is so, it's weird, it opened exactly to the right page. Lenormand is so specific that sometimes it's good to read it. This is about resolving problems. The work and business front is animated with important changes, resulting news from afar, and advantageous contracts, business proposals. Yeah, so for some of you, this really is that what you need to hear at this time is that maybe things are going to get better for you around your finances and your career. Let's see about the success situation here. Artistic career or politics, finished studies, high level or position, deserve public recognition. Yeah, maybe that's what I was getting about, like, you kind of getting maybe you could be getting a grant or getting something that could result in some kind of envy. It feels to me like you will be getting something or achieving something. I guess it is a bit like an inheritance in that you could be receiving something, like some kind of thing that gives you money or recognition. And I would just say be cautious if people are around you and maybe envious of that, especially people who flatter you, but it feels like it's a bit of a hollow connection you have. Like maybe people are interested in you because of your status or your position, or you attract a partner who's interested in you for financial reasons. Not for all of you, but just for the ones of you where you suddenly get like a glow up in some way, or you suddenly get something positive coming into your life. It's like, just be a little cautious of that. A contract has solved a period of financial crisis. Well meditated expenses for a cultural trip, a child studies or moves, long awaited commercial letter or credit recovery, trading contract. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of you, if you've been worried about money or someone owing you money or needing to recover money from someone, it feels to me like that's going to come in. For other people, this is just about happiness. Could be about a child coming in. This could be about good news coming in, wedding announcements, births, moves, things like that. Anything positive news coming in. But it's interesting because I got the citrine crystal, right, as coming through, which is about abundance. It's also about happiness. And it's basically exactly this card, isn't it? It's the color of it even. I mean, that's kind of crazy. So it's a very strong message for some of you that financially things are going to improve. Maybe especially with the kind of idea of addictions, because I was getting kunzite for that, which is addictions, but it's also appetite control. It's maybe any attempt to control by overworking or denying yourself things because you're worried about money. It feels to me that this is going to resolve. So I wouldn't like become a workaholic and stress yourself out. It feels to me like positive things are going to come in for you. Let's see what else comes up for pile number 1. What do they need to know right now? What do they need to hear most right now? I feel like some of you may need to really work on boundaries. It could be that you've had some arguments. Some of you may have a difficult female energy in your life. It doesn't have to be gender specific, but it can be someone who's a bit harsh and critical. I feel like you may need to distance yourself from this person and be in your own energy. There's something here about maybe boundaries not being ideal. Like you may be someone who finds it hard to say no, and then you suddenly go the other way and come across as super rude because you suddenly have to erect quite harsh boundaries. And it's almost like find that middle ground. Some of you are not seeing a situation clearly. It feels like some of you as well have felt like maybe quite isolated and alone. And maybe you've had a harsh inner critical voice. It could be your own critical voice in your head, like pointing out the problems and things. This is very channeled, by the way. But it feels to me like things are really going to improve, and you've got so much about abundance. I mean, I got it like psychically, then, you know, this card came out, and the 10 of Pentacles is literally like the card of abundance, and it can be inherited wealth, literally, because it's about family money. So for some of you, this could also be about you maybe wanting to break away from what is expected of you from your family in terms of your career. And also what I said about the inherited beliefs around money are very important. But look, manifestation is coming in. Hope, healing, recovery, long-held dreams coming into fruition for you. What does pile 1 need to know? And for some of you, this is also about love and support. This is a really beautiful pile. To be honest, I was kind of like feeling that it could be my pile from some of the first messages. And I'm like, I would take this as my pile if any of the piles were mine, which I try to intend that they're not. But I mean, this is a good pile. For you guys, it feels like there's love, support, happiness. For some of you, this could be about manifesting a long-term relationship. I feel like it's almost tied into the abundance and success in other areas of life. To me, it feels like some kind of blocks are going to be moved and restrictions are going to be lifted to enable you to have material and emotional happiness. This lighthouse is very beautiful. It's almost like calling in your soulmate and like them, you being the lighthouse to them in the storm that calls them forward. There's a new beginning coming in for this pile. The only thing is to kind of maybe distance yourself from anyone who's overly critical of you, or from that critical limiting belief that you keep having in your head, because that is almost like distracting you. It's like you just need to focus on what you want, but in a light-hearted way where it's not like you're overindulging in anything. Like sometimes when people are manifesting, they get really addicted to it, or they're spiritually bypassing life by getting very addicted to whatever practice it is that makes them feel better, but it's not the right energy to manifest in because it comes from lack. So there is a need to kind of release fear and release attachment in order to, that is what's going to move this block and these limiting beliefs. The final piece in what you guys may need to do to call this energy in is to kind of let go and surrender. And this could be inherited limiting beliefs around money. So affirmations such as, I am so abundant, when money leaves, it comes back multiplied, I'm rich, anything like this, you should be kind of affirming to yourself when you have feelings of scarcity or competition, like you have to compete, like resources are finite. This is really what's going to shift the energy to give you this new beginning. But there is some kind of passionate new beginning coming in for you. For some of you, this could be around creativity. For others of you, this is a deep soul connection involving like maybe a twin flame or a deep soulmate. For a lot of you, I did say marriage and birth and stuff, right? For some of you, you could be like at some point getting married, having a child, moving somewhere. Because I said all of these things, and this card is about marriage, celebration, births, union, all of the stuff. So the reading is very clear and it's very strong. And basically what you need to know right now is, and I do read a lot in advance, I know this from clients and myself, my own life, so it may not feel at all like this now. And sometimes I wonder, what is the purpose of me knowing the future? Because I get it so far in advance, it drives me nuts in my own life. And I'm like, why do I know this stuff? What's the point? But my friend yesterday was saying to me, it's to give, it's good for your clients to know that there's something good coming or whatever. Because I feel like manifestation is much more helpful to people than readings, honestly. But the purpose of this reading is to tell you good things are coming, and maybe if that's not the situation you're in now, it gives you that strength to want to carry on, to know that you're going to overcome these difficulties. And that is really your message, that good things are coming, both financially and in terms of love. And they could somehow be related. You're very close to achieving your goal. A fiery climax approaches. Two release cards. The strength card also wanted to pop back up. So you may be going through a difficult time. You may need to just, take time to breathe out. You may need to just release at this moment. Breathing out is literally release. Full moons are release. So there may be some fears and limiting beliefs that are coming up. That inner critic of that Queen of Swords in reverse, she needs to be silenced. But there is prosperity ahead for you. This group, I got it straight away, that there's money, there's prosperity, there's success, wishes coming true. What do they need to hear right now? Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. My Akashic reset could be quite helpful to release past patterns and limiting beliefs inherited from your family. That's kind of exactly the sort of thing it's good for. If you've already had it and you're a client, I would suggest listening to it regularly. I mean, I always do, but especially with this card. Maybe if not, you might want to think about getting it. It's on my Etsy. Everything's linked in the description box. But this is a fated thing as well. So there are some lessons you need to learn. There are some limiting beliefs you need to release. But you will not be stopped from going to where you're meant to be going in life. So don't be fearful of it. Also, grounding is important. I have a grounding meditation on my Etsy that's very good, but any way that you can ground, connecting with nature and the earth. And for some of you, you do need to cut cords, especially if there's a critical person in your life. You don't need to get rid of them from your life, but you may need to cut energetic cords with them. Again, I have a great cord cutting meditation on my Etsy. But some of you also need to do soul retrieval and calling back your power. And even in terms of manifestation, this is important if you're overly attached to what you're trying to manifest. Say, for example, you've been trying, I'll give you guys a useful exercise. Say, for example, you've been trying to manifest something for a really long time and it's not happening. So you have all this attachment to it and you're like, when is it going to happen? That's weird that I picked up this card randomly, 10 of Wands, needing to release a heavy burden that you've been carrying. I'm telling you how to do that now. So you're like, when is this going to happen? This is the wrong energy to manifest completely. It's going to slow it down. So what you can do is you can imagine a small visual for what it is that's currently a problem in your life. So say, for example, you want money and you don't have money, and that is represented to you by a stack of bills, right? You don't want to overly focus on them, but you just bring this image into your mind of these bills. And you say, okay, I am in charge of my reality. I know that I have manifested this thing being an issue, but I no longer wish it to be the case. I know my power. I'm calling back my power from this current situation, and instead I'm going to manifest what I want. And you say it either out loud or in your head with great authority. And then you imagine or you visualize. It's not really imagining. Some of you will actually see it if you're clairvoyant, but whatever. If not, you visualize tendrils of energy coming from that visual back to you, and that visual receding and getting smaller and becoming black and white and disappearing, and your energy coming back to you. If you're sensitive to energy, you will feel your energy return to you. And then what you do is you put on a nice TV show or something completely not to do with manifestation that is just something you enjoy, and you immerse yourself in that, because you've probably likely been too attached and got into an obsessional energy about manifestation that is slowing your manifestation down. And that is a very good way of calling back your energy, a bit like soul retrieval, in order to shift the energies so that you're not so attached, so that you can manifest. Because you manifest when you're not too attached to something, because that is a lack mentality, basically. So that is a good exercise to try, okay? But also I recommend my cord cutting meditation, my grounding meditation, and what was the other thing? The Akashic reset I do, just because those cards came out, and honestly, it would help you. And I like you guys, there's no point getting a reading where it's like, it just, especially general ones, where it just tells you what's happening now, which you already know, what's happened in the past, which you already know, and leaves you not really knowing what to do if the future is not what you want it to be. I would much rather empower people by teaching them how to manifest or telling them what to do to shift the energies. Otherwise, readings just become a way of avoiding living in the present, in my opinion. So I don't know why I felt called to say that to this pile, but there it is. But good things are coming to you. I think you need to focus on releasing fear, manifesting, but manifesting without attachment. Without like excess potential. Of course, there's always some attachment, but as little attachment as possible, okay? All right, pile one, much love. Connecting into pile two, please, Spirit. Clearing any energies from pile one, creating a temporary energetic cord between myself and the people in pile two across all time and space, showing all chances, changes, possibilities, probabilities, anything they need to know at this time. What is it that pile two needs to know at this time, please, Spirit? Archangel Michael putting me in a bubble of love, light and protection, closing down the energies and restoring the auric fields at the end of the reading. I'm getting creativity and courage coming through. Aquamarine would be a very good crystal for you, as well as topaz, especially if there's any kind of mild depression going on. I'm getting quite a watery energy from this group, and I'm feeling like maybe what you need to know at this time is how to transmute some kind of sadness into something more creative for you. But let's see with the Lenormand deck, because it's so specific. Let's see what pile two needs to know at this time, please, Spirit. Yes, okay. I mean, the book is all about secrets or hidden emotions or feelings. To me, it can also be very creative, like journaling or writing a book, writing as a way to transmute those kind of secret hidden feelings you may have. I will read from the deck's book because the Lenormand deck is so specific. It might be specific. Obviously, this is a general reading, so you have to see which bits resonate with you. But I do feel there's some hidden emotion here that needs to be fully expressed, either through something creative or potentially to a specific person or something. For a lot of you, this could be about a kind of love situation or some kind of sentimental situation with the Clover card. But let's read from the book, 26. So this is, oh, okay, it's diary. I thought it was book. I think it's the same thing. I call it book. It's diary, but that's even more like hidden emotions, right? Intimacy, secret, pleasant memories, melancholy, regrets, and bitter remorse. Yes. The timing of this card is from the 11th to the 20th of September. So there may have been something that happened around then that you're still taking personally or you're still carrying somehow. You're busy going over the past and getting more organized. So there could be something about the past that is occupying you. Don't confide in anyone about the project you've been kindling in your heart for a long time. You'll find the most valid suggestions by asking yourself. So for some of you, this could be a creative project you've been nurturing that maybe it's best not to speak about it, but to put your emotions into it and kind of nurture it at this time. So holding on to past memories or love affairs that stop you from experiencing new relationships. So there is this sadness, this depression. I honestly feel, and I get it, it's like the pile one was mind-blowing. I'm on fire today, honestly. I can feel it when I'm really connected. It's because I feel this is an important reading as opposed to just like how do they feel, which is not empowering for people. This pile, you've been through a difficult emotional thing, maybe a love affair, maybe it was more in your imagination than in reality. You may have created a fantasy to avoid living in the present. Sometimes it's safer to fantasize about a romantic connection than to actually have a real connection with someone who is available to you because it keeps you safe. You can just fantasize at a distance. But for some of you, there is real heartbreak in this, and it feels limerent to me. Limerence can be very confused, and this is why pick a card readings can be very dangerous for love, because a lot of people think that obsession and limerence is like a spiritual connection because they just are so invested in it. There's something that could be going on with that. But either way, I like to give people the solution for how they can overcome, not just tell them this is how you're feeling, this was how you were feeling in the past, and this is what might happen in the future. Like, let's give you some advice for what you can do about this if this is resonating. You need to put that emotion into something real and tangible, even if the connection was a fantasy. You can still create something beautiful from the emotions you felt. Your emotions were still valid. It's just that maybe you projected them onto something. But that feeling of love you had came from within you. It's not really about that person. So you can find that again within yourself. You can find that with someone who's actually going to reciprocate it. For a lot of you, you could have been involved in some kind of secret clandestine affair. There could have been like a third party situation. You could have just been a fantasy to this person too. And it was very not grounded in reality. But that doesn't mean that you can't do something with it that makes it real and beautiful for you in a way that is creative or in a way that is just transmuting the energies. So for a lot of you, I feel creativity, maybe writing, something like that would be very healing. Let's see what else it says. Your marvelous love exists only in your imagination. If you don't come out of your ivory tower, you risk growing old alone and without love. This is not, I mean, Lenormand is harsh. That's why I'm using it for this reading. That's just to say what you need to know is if you keep fantasizing and you may even be spiritually bypassing by watching lots of pick a card tarot readings that keep you stuck. Are they really doing anything for you if they're just telling you this person loves you, but you're not hearing from the person? I mean, be careful with them, please, especially general readings, because actually, don't you want to have love in the real world where someone actually loves you and is present for you? You can have that. But the thing is, you don't really believe you're worthy of it, or you wouldn't be still enmeshed in this situation. And don't get me wrong, I feel like it's very hard if you're in a twin flame connection at the beginning to understand this dynamic and free yourself from it. But I don't think that this pile is in that connection. I think that would have been pile 1 people. I think this pile is in something that is actually was meant to be some kind of karmic lesson to get them to choose themselves and see their value and free themselves, and instead they're stuck. And so you need to free yourself, and transmuting it through creativity is a good idea. And if this isn't about love for you, you can apply this to a career or anything where you feel you've just got stuck, waiting for something to happen that is never happening for you. Sometimes rejection is divine protection. Yes, you can manifest, and you can manifest specific people, but I wouldn't recommend it because A, you get too attached to the outcome that you'll never manifest it probably, because you're too obsessed with the person, and you can't be obsessed when you manifest. I mean, you can, but it'll be harder. And also, I just would recommend working on self-love and being open, because then when you heal through that process, you may realize that you don't even want the initial person, because it feels like it's not meant to be. You think it's something that's meant to be, but it's not really. Let's carry on. Let's see what they say about success. Too much dreaming, and now you've forgotten reality and missed important opportunities. Inconclusiveness. It's the same thing for success and money as relationships. Your inner life has prevailed over practicalities, making you underestimate the value of money. By exploiting dreams and intuitions, you can win a significant sum. So this is about how you can actually turn fantasy into manifestation, because it's a fine line between being delusional and stuck in an energy of wishful thinking and actually manifesting. Manifesting is not really about wishful thinking. It may seem like that, but it's not. It's not about that. It's about being in the energy of having what you want, not desiring the thing you want in a way where it's not actually in your life, and it's like this elusive fantasy. And this is much more where this pile is. So try to change it and make it that you're actually detaching from things and creating the things you want in reality. But I wouldn't say to do it with a specific person. You guys do what you want, but I would never do specific people with clients, just because it makes the whole thing more difficult. And the specific person comes back if the person's meant to, and the person who's manifesting works on their self-love. But for a lot of you, there's just a need to heal this. The Clover card is a good card to have coming out about this, though, because it is about success. And it is about success in finances and career. So it's like transmuting this pain into something creative, maybe that will make money. You've had a distressed childhood and are in search of security as well as love. Now, maybe some of you have had a difficult childhood and childhood wounds, and that's why you choose emotionally unavailable people to keep you safe, because you know they're never going to choose you. So that's the appeal of it to you. That's why you keep getting stuck in that cycle. I recommend my Akashic Reset to this group as well on my Etsy. The thing is, you can shift this to mutual love, but you need to do some work on self-love. Thanks to your preparation, you've drawn a good contract and closed an excellent business deal. Everything will have a perfect end. An inheritance or advantageous business deal has awarded you fairly good security. And then initiatives undertaken will give you success. There's a lot about inheritance and income in this pile. So pile 1 people may still be watching, or maybe you want to watch pile 1 as well. But it is different energies. But either way, the outcome, and I guess, of course, that's what both piles need to know. It's what every pile needs to know, is that you can have success if you learn how to manifest. I mean, that's all I have to tell any of you. And I do like doing the general readings because I feel it, like I know people are addicted to them, so they'll watch. And then I try to also slip in vital information for how you can change your life within the guise of a pick a card reading. And I know that's not what everyone wants, so don't watch my channel. But I'm here to empower you, not to keep telling you stories and fantasies that will keep you stuck. Yes, some people are in twin flame connections and the readings will apply, but YouTube is dangerous for keeping people in limerence. It really is. You have to be discerning. I recommend personal readings over general readings. General readings can be very helpful though. But basically what you guys need to know right now, and it's a bit of a harsh message, I guess, is you've been fantasizing about something that is not going to go anywhere until you start properly learning how to transmute those energies, love yourself, work on your self-love, and manifest in through that. But let's see what the tarot says. I'm sure people are not going to like this pile, but I'm trying to help you, honestly. I really am. What do they need to know? Okay, so the deck is not upside down, but this came out upside down. So there is victory coming for you, but it's delayed. There's victory and success and overcoming fears and being in the limelight and having success, maybe with a creative project, but it feels like it is delayed at the moment because, why? Heartbreak, third party situation. I mean, it's so clear. I was kind of like doubting myself, like, why am I giving them a rant? But it's channeled, so I'm sorry. It's spirit telling you, you will have success once you overcome your heartbreak, but it's delayed by this heartbreak, especially a third party situation. And if you're putting your energy into that, you need to kind of understand when to protect your energy and when to kind of give up the fight. Giving up is not giving up. It's just, you're not giving up on your dreams. You're not giving up on the idea of being loved, but you're giving up on this tightness, this obsession. It's not a nice feeling to feel like that. So just release it, surrender, let it go. Queen of Swords, Three of Cups. Yeah, you need to have really firm boundaries and you need to see clearly and you need to be honest with yourself. Because for some of you, there is some situation where you haven't been prioritized, you've been played with. It has been a third party situation. It hasn't been anything that could be serious to you. And you've invested loads of time and energy into it. And Spirit wants you to take your energy and your power back. That's what you guys need to know. But let me get some oracle cards just to see. I want to use, actually I'm going to use a very romantic deck because it'll be interesting what comes out. What does pile 2 need to know, please, Spirit? Spiritual connection. A relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. Relationship patterns. It takes strength to recognize the need for change. Most of these cards are like really schmaltzy, romantic. I knew one would come out that would be like this, which is what you need to hear. Relationship patterns. It takes strength to realize the need for change. You may be avoiding love through choosing unavailable partners. I'm going to just say this is what I'm getting for pile 2. If it's not your message, get a different pile. Look, I have a whole playlist of pick a card readings. This is not like a general, I mean, this is a general reading. It's not a personal reading. So I'm taking the most strong energy from this group of people, especially the people who voted. Remember to vote on the community tab every week for the readings. Your energies do go into them more. For a lot of you, you're very expressive people. You need to express this in a creative way, but you do need to understand you're in a relationship pattern that needs to shift. And yes, it is a spiritual connection, but it's likely a karmic connection. So it does feel fated, it does feel this and that, and it is, but you were meant to learn a lesson from it, which you didn't learn yet, and so you're trapped in a pattern. Receive with love and appreciation. Gracious acceptance is a way to show love. Maybe accepting things as they are, not trying to fight it, not trying to spiritually bypass your feelings. Every time you feel sad and rejected, just letting yourself feel that rather than searching for a reading on YouTube that's going to kind of feed your obsession and make you feel better for, what, 10 minutes? And then you have to watch more and more and more so that you feel okay. Because you don't want to feel what you're feeling. Do you see what I mean? This is a very specific message for people who are addicted to YouTube readings, I feel. Much better to get a personal reading, to pay that money, than to keep watching stuff that is actually damaging you. And all of the obsessional, addictive things you do, checking their Instagram, looking at the third party, all the things you think that are not hurting you, like it doesn't hurt, no one knows about it, you're hurting yourself. Spirit wants you to kind of mend this. It wants you to mend childhood wounds around love. It feels like it is in a process of mending, but doing something creative, sewing, creating with your hands in some way, writing, that is going to be a way of healing it. Loyal heart. You deserve someone who is able to give and receive. And this is a card of Akashic Records, the book, Why. The diary is a bit Akashic too, but also for a lot of you, journaling out your relationship patterns, why you do the things you do, as well as maybe getting my Akashic reset, if you want to do something spiritual around it, is a good idea. You need to kind of be in the present, not in the fantasy future or past, okay? You are capable of having love, but it's going to be when you kind of accept that you're worthy of it and stop living in a fantasy and a projection of what love could be with someone that is not giving it to you. No, wait, postpone, pause, say no. The universe may have blocked this off at every moment. This person may have been blocked off. You may be blocked. There may be so many doors shut in your face. It's because the universe is trying to redirect you. If it's difficult, it's because it's not meant for you. Trust the niggle. What's the niggling feeling trying to tell you? If your intuition is sometimes thinking, am I just crazy? Should I release this? Yes. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Protect yourself. Put yourself first. Cut cords. I have a cord cutting meditation as well. And then exactly, share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution, expression. That's not like share your voice, like keep hounding this person to love you. It's share your voice, like do something creative with this. You will overcome the heartbreak through doing something creative. This is a specific message for this group. I empathize with this group. Even if you're actually dealing with a twin flame, by the way, this is still important info. Don't just bypass it by being like, well, it's not for me because it is a real twin flame I'm dealing with. This is especially for the people who think they're dealing with a twin flame, but they're not. But even for the ones that know they are with dealing with a twin flame, you can still get caught in this obsessional energy and it drains your energy. I've been there in the past. I understand this energy. That's why I can see exactly what Spirit's trying to say. When you get to the other side of it, it's much, much healthier, and you'll realize what being loved and love is about. And yes, you may really love this person, but you need to love yourself more than that person. And that is how you're going to get Spirit bringing in either this person to you, if it's meant to be, or someone that can love you equally. But it has to happen with you first. It's an inside job. The people in our reality are a mirror to our inside being. But that doesn't mean like bypassing your pain through watching lots of tarot readings and doing lots of manifestation techniques that are actually just obsessional, and that you'll never manifest this person when you're in that energy. Much better to come to someone like me, get a general manifestation for self-love, or I'm not saying that to sell stuff, but just working on your self-love in any way. Do you see what I mean? It's much better to do that than to endlessly watch free general readings or endlessly watch things to manifest but not actually applying the techniques of manifestation, but you just watch the videos. Because what I'm getting is people who get this pile, it's like you're getting a hit from watching stuff for 10 minutes that makes you feel better, but you're not applying the advice, or you're not changing your life, or you're not applying the manifestation techniques properly. You're just binge watching the stuff to numb your senses and make you feel better and give you that kind of gratification. Like if you're blocked by this person, then getting a tarot reading about them gives you a bit of a rush that makes you feel better. I know this energy as well because clients who get addicted, I can feel this energy and I get them to free themselves, you know? It's tricky. People can get addicted to this stuff, and that's when this stuff, as readers, we need to be responsible as well, because what are we here to do? We're here to raise the vibration, to free people, to make them realize their own power. Now ask yourself as a reader, are you really doing that, or are you kind of spoon feeding people crap that is like fairy tale And a lot of readers, I think, get into doing it because they're in some kind of spiritual connection, and then they watch these readings and then they end up doing them. That wasn't my path. But I know a lot of people that is their path of doing it, and they don't realize that they're caught in something unhealthy themselves and they're perpetuating it. What readers should be doing, once you get to a certain point in doing readings, you can understand the future, but you do also understand how energies work and that you can manifest. So you need to be empowering people with how you act, what life really is. And life is all a manifestation of our thoughts. So empowering people to actually shift and create the life they want. And if they can do that on an individual basis, the people around them are going to start being like, what's going on? And then they can tell them about manifestation, and you create a ripple effect where people are freeing themselves. But you know, to the people who just are endlessly binge watching stuff, they're doing it to themselves. They're self-soothing, and I think they know that it's unhealthy. And some of you may be watching this reading and you know it's unhealthy what you've been doing, and Spirit is saying very lovingly, do something else, you know. Put that energy into something for yourself that's creative. Love yourself first. I'm not saying that some of you, this is maybe a soul connection, but you need to love yourself first either way. This is a long reading. I know it's a bit of a rant. It's an important reading though. And if it triggered you, even more important to listen to what I'm saying, especially if it pissed you off, especially if you're a reader and it pissed you off. You need to think about that. But there's some fears that need to be released here. And the fear may be that everything I said is right. Well, okay, face that fear. What else for pile 2, just because it's kind of a heavy? Don't let pride get in your way. So kind of just acting from the heart, and don't let the past hold you back. So really acting from a place of integrity for yourself and not letting the past hold you back, as I said. All right, pile 2, much love. Get a personal reading if you need one. I'm going to close down the energies between us now. Okay, asking for pile 2 energies to be completely cleared and released, please, Spirit. Creating a temporary energetic cord between myself and pile 3 for the duration of the reading, showing all chances, changes, possibilities, probabilities, anything that needs to come through. Closing down the energies, restoring the auric fields, and wrapping us in universal love, light, and protection. Archangel Michael helping me with the reading and protecting me throughout. Getting patience, omens, stress, static. But a rebirth, a sense of rebirth. So let's see how that plays out. I'm going to start with the Lenormand deck because it's super specific. And I'm going to see what comes through. What does pile 3 most need to know? Interesting. The Sun card, pile 1 had that. It is about success and victory and revelations, and can be about children, marriages, just success and abundance, basically. It came out kind of reversed, which shows me that there's a bit of a block on that, which may be why the patience came out as being important here, as well as static, this energy of slowness. But it came out with rebirth, which is kind of like this energy. It's like the sun is rising again. It's reminding me of the 10 of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, where it has the 10 swords and someone's back and they're very, very dead. But there's a sun breaking in the background, you know, rising again, kind of rebirth energy. So that makes sense. You may have been through something difficult. There is a new beginning coming for you, but it feels to me like there's a slight delay on that. Let's read from the book, just the reverse of this, just because it's so specific, it can be quite helpful. Although I know the cards, you know. Waste of energy, decrease in enthusiasm. It's from the 1st to the 10th of November. So there may have been a block around them, that you felt like you were wasting energy, putting your energy into something, and it felt like it wasn't going anywhere. But I think you just need to have patience, and that's not a reality. That's like a fear and a limiting belief that came up. Let's have a look. Sentimental confusion. Unattainable project. Initiative going downhill because the time is not right. situation to be studied in detail before launching a project. Exactly that. It's not, you are going to have all of the success and victory and abundance that this card is about in terms of love, career, everything. But the timing of something was a bit off and there was a delay. So what you need to know, it's a similar message to pile 1, and you may want to watch pile 1. But basically, you need to have patience because something you've wanted for a long time is coming in for you, but the timing wasn't right. So don't give up, but do protect your energy if you're feeling depleted and exhausted. You may want to wear black tourmaline, you may want to sage your house, you may want to put yourself in a bubble of like positivity, watch easy, nice things on the TV, don't overwatch negative, depressing things. Be careful of who you have around you if you feel like their energy makes you exhausted or you're over giving to them and you're depleting yourself. So this is about inner reserves and perseverance, basically, and needing to protect your energy and your space. And exactly that, holding yourself back a little bit. For some of you, finances may be an issue. It feels to me that finances are going to really improve, but there's a bit of a delay on it. So be cautious with how you're spending your money and things like that in the short term. Think about how you're investing your time and energy, but you are going to have your wishes and dreams coming true. You are going to have this abundance. For a lot of you, this could be about maybe finances with this card. But it comes from within. These are all quite solo energies. I feel you've been on quite a hard energy journey on your own, emotionally. And you may feel very exhausted and depleted, and you need to leave some stuff in the past so that you can continue this journey onwards without being weighed down. So Spirit is really saying, look, everything you've been desiring is capable of manifesting, but if it hasn't happened yet, it's simply because every manifestation happens as quickly as it can, but there's a bridge of incidents that is none of our concern that needs to play out. So yes, we can do things to align ourselves, but there's no real, whenever people ask like, when will this happen in a reading, I try to explain to them, it's not a case of a time and date being set in stone, unless I'm reading just on how the person's energy is now, because that is determining the future. But it's more like it will happen once you're in the energy that's right for it to happen. So it's about you protecting your energy and your space and not over exhausting yourself so that you're in a place where it can come in. I feel like this group, you're like a phone that is completely zapped of energy. And if you've had a personal reading from me, and I've said this to you in it, because I do sometimes get this message in personal readings, then this really applies to you if you're listening to this. It's a clairvoyant image I get sometimes when people are just exhausted, and it's a phone that is completely like no battery, and it's in the corner of the room charging. And I say like that, if you're that phone that is depleted and you're in the corner of the room and you're needing to charge and you're wondering like, when am I going to meet my next boyfriend, or when am I going to get promoted? The answer is always the same: once you've recharged. Because why? Because, okay, you only attract into your life what you are energetically yourself. I.e., if you want to be with someone who's successful and toned or whatever, like works out, then you need to be in a place in your career where you're also successful, and you need to also be taking care of your body. You don't need to be a specific size, but if those qualities are important in someone, you need to also have those qualities or the equivalent within yourself, because you can only attract what you already are. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So the reason that you don't get people coming into your life when you're depleted, like a phone needing to recharge, is because Spirit is protecting you. Because if anyone came into your life when you're like that phone, they would be a mess, and it would be not something you want to be involved in, because they energetically would also be depleted and broken and needing to heal. And that's not to say that two broken people can't be together and fall in love and become a whole and heal, but it's really a better idea if you're already whole and healed when you meet the other person, because otherwise you get into a connection where it's very much what's that word, like not interdependent in a good way, but you're relying on each other in an unhealthy way. It's like a co something relationship. You know exactly what I'm trying to say. Spirit, give me the right word. codependent relationship. Okay, so for a lot of you, you're waiting for something to happen. It is going to happen, but it can't progress forward until you've released the past. You need to focus on yourself, your own goals. So this is a solo energy I'm getting at the moment, and you may have fears around the fact that you're alone. But when you're in your alone energy, just work on building yourself back up. Work on your own career, your finances, what makes you feel good. The good thing is we've got the Four of Pentacles going to the Eight of Pentacles. So your career and finances and things like that are going to be increasing and improving. And we have got manifestation, but there just needs to be this release. And once that happens, things are going to go forwards quickly. So once you're really focused on yourself and things like that, the universe is going to be able to offer you something that you're going to be able to take. I mean, the Four of Cups literally is, if any tarot card was that phone in the corner of the room charging up, unable to accept calls or take any info in, this would be the Four of Cups. It's like Spirit's wanting to offer you something, but you're like not in the place to receive it. So that's just saying to me, you're going to be able to receive what it is you've been trying to manifest and what you want once you go within and are on your own and you heal your stuff on your own. Hermit card. Inner healing, inner resources. This is a solo pile. You may really want a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever person in your life, not gender specific. With the Lovers card, definitely that is the case. But the reason you haven't met them yet is because you're not ready. When you're ready, you're going to be meeting someone that is, you know, your match, your counterpart, male or female. They're going to feel like the person you're meant to be with. If there's been any blocks until now, it's just because of that needing to focus on yourself. Seven of Cups in reverse is like you need to prioritize one thing only and make decisions, and the thing you need to prioritize is yourself, because there's an unequal give and take potentially going on. And you've had this card twice, the Seven of Wands. It's about needing to persevere, which came up, patience, perseverance, but it's also about needing to protect your energy. Maybe do stuff where you're spending time with loved ones and good friends and you're having fun and like in a light-hearted energy, but doing things that feel good for you and your soul. But as well as that, don't kind of ignore your inner feelings and sadness by bypassing them by just going out and having loads of fun, you know? Do what feels healthy and good for you truly within yourself. Can we get what do they need to hear right now? There's going to be movement. You are going to be moving on from this difficult time. For some of you, there could be an actual move involved overseas, but it has been delayed just because it wasn't the right time. For whatever reason, you would have to get a personal reading for your individual circumstances. But there's been some kind of block, but it's not even a block like something within you. It's more like something wasn't aligned. You know, things will manifest when they're meant to manifest, and you can't really speed them up. All you can do is just be as detached as possible, and that will bring it in as quickly as possible. But there will still be certain things that need to happen in your bridge of incidents to make what you want manifest. You know, there's always some kind of delay. Even if it feels like an instantaneous manifestation, there's always some kind of bridge of incidents. There is always. Watch my manifestation playlist. Oh, I wish I'd said to pile 2 to watch my spiritual connections video, but because it just popped up, maybe for some of you watch my spiritual connections video. The thing that you need to know though is your wishes and dreams are gonna come true, okay? So that's a really beautiful message, and to be honest, it's been the message for all of the piles, but it's had like a different tweak for each of them, because that's what I can do as a reader. I can give you that knowledge for how to manifest, and that's what readers should be doing for you. And maybe watch pile 2 if any of this resonated, because I talk a lot about tarot readings and their purpose in that. But for your special message for group 3, there's stuff you need to release, heavy burdens from the past, and that's what's slowing it down. I think you're tired, honestly. You're tired, and I think there's going to be a big shift in energy once some of you just need to rest. Some of you are exhausted, and there have been a lot of battles and complications and just maybe even just small life events that have got in the way and blocked things, and been difficult and been problematic, and it's been like, why is there one hurdle after another hurdle after another hurdle? And it's like, just surrender to it and rest. Some of you need to rest. Some of you, maybe you're gonna have a cold or something if you're not careful. You know, there's something that needs to be cleared up here in terms of your energy, and I think you need to rest to do it. You also need to understand when it's time to clear your side of the street and other people's side of the street, so you're not constantly mopping up other people's mess, especially if you're an empath. That's when it's going to be the time to take that leap of faith where there's a new beginning for you. Yeah, there is regeneration. Didn't I get rebirth for this group? I did, as I connected in as one of the first things. Well, this is rebirth. This is an electrocuted tree growing back to life magically. So some kind of seeds that you've planted are really going to grow in a magical way. Maybe once you give up and you believe it's not possible. Sometimes people do need to do that, to totally let go and surrender, to release the attachment to what they want for it to happen. You know how in life things always happen when you don't want them anymore? It's because you had too much attachment to it before. That's what creates the change in the wind for you. But there is a change coming, and it might be when you least expect it. So if I was you, I would my advice to pile 3 would be to rest, rejuvenate, kind of give up, and then just do what calls to you. Do what feels right for you. Do what makes you feel happy. Follow your bliss. The universe is working on this for you, and you are being protected. Divine orchestrations, helpers in the subtle realms. So if it hasn't happened already, it may be that spirit was protecting you because it's meant to happen in a certain way or a certain time. So just almost surrender to being protected by spirit. For some of you, there is some kind of self-expression you need to do around all of this. Maybe you're always helping others and you never feel like you get your say in things. I feel like a lot of you might want to watch pile 2, honestly. Especially because this card came out for them too. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Cord cutting is useful for you guys as well. I have a cord cutting thing on my YouTube. On my Etsy. Everything's linked in the description box below. But I honestly feel if this is resonating a bit, I don't usually say this, but watch pile 2 as well, okay? Because I don't want to keep repeating everything, but there's been a delay in your manifestation because you're leaking energy into something that maybe isn't worth you leaking your energy into it. And it would be much better for you to just be inward and heal something at the moment. And that may be the energy that shifts so that your manifestation comes in. I hope it makes sense. But you have got good things coming in for you. So don't worry, but just focus on yourself. There's that I knew it was going to come out. The 10 of Swords. I saw it in the beginning when that Sun card came out in the reverse. And I said, 10 of Swords is not the traditional depiction of it, but it usually has 10 swords in someone and they're very dead. But in the background, the sun is rising again. There's a new beginning after a difficult ending for you. And there's the Sun card now coming up in the upright. I knew I had to pull 2 more cards for the end of this reading. After a time of darkness and sadness, there will be happiness and optimism and manifestations coming in around love and money and everything else. At the moment, this card tells me what I've already told you like a million times in this reading. You need to surrender and kind of give up. And that's when it comes in. Watch pile 2 as well. All right, my loves, I love you all. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you comment, you will be in the running for a free reading once I get to 3,000 subscribers, which won't be long. And it also helps me out a lot to keep making the videos and things like that more than people realize. Just even liking it is like so important, but commenting as well. Subscribe for more comments. If you want a personal reading or anything else, description box below. Sending you guys much love, light and positivity. Wishing you all the best. I send love and light out into the world. And take care. Much love.